Hello everybody and welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Now today I wanted to put together something to just help explain how the banner system in Raid works. I know it was something that I was a little bit confused by as I was first coming into the game because it operates a little bit differently than other games you might have played before. I'm somebody who comes from a background of playing a variety of gacha style games where you need to pull on various banners for characters, and Raid has a few systems that were a little bit new to me and I'm assuming are probably new to you when you're coming into the game for the first time. So I thought I'd put this together just to kind of help answer a few questions you may be having as you're coming in with a new or an experienced Raid account. Before we dive into this, if you have yet to create a Raid account and you want to try the game out yourself, you can actually sign up using my link in the description or in the pinned comment of this video. If you do, you are going to be getting a free epic champion on your account, and the epic champion you're going to be getting is Rector Drath. Now Rector Drath is going to be a huge bonus for you early on in the game. A very strong healer, also has a revive built into her kit, so it really helps for both PvP or PvE based content, so definitely going to be a huge bonus for you there. Also, if you do manage to get up to level 15 on your account, you're going to get a second epic champion for free, which is really going to help you out early on in your game. Hugo, who is another very strong support unit. Along with that, you'll get an XP barrel, 300,000 silver, as well as some potions to help level up your champions early on in the game, especially when your champion roster is low and you need to be power leveling some of those first champions. Getting the right champions and getting those potions early on are going to help make that a lot easier. So make sure to use my link in the description to help you out in starting off your journey in Raid Shadow Legends. Let's jump into the portal and talk a little bit about how the portal works in this game. Now, if you're somebody like me and you've come from other gacha games, there can be a variety of systems or banners and raid ups and how it all operates, but Raid's got a slightly different approach to it in that there's a lot more rotation, variety, or types of pulling currency that exists within the game. So the first currency you're going to have, and the first kind of whole system you're going to see, is this shard summoning system. Now in the shard summoning system, you can see it has it listed here that you can get common, uncommon, and rare characters specifically from this green mystery shard. Now mystery shards, you might have a few early on and you might be wondering how to get more of them, but trust me, it's not going to be an issue once you get more into late game farming. But also you're going to see them rotate through the shop regularly. You can see there's one here. It's currently locked on this slot, but it comes through on these first few slots as well pretty regularly, so you're gonna have opportunities to buy some early on there. But like I said, when you're farming some of the other higher stages, you're gonna start swimming in these mystery shards. Now these mystery shards, they're gonna be a big help for getting some early rares on your account, but also this is where you're gonna be getting the majority of your fodder units, the units that you're gonna be using to ascend your other more stronger heroes in the game or champions in the game. Now we can, by using this little eye information button here, look at some of the drop rates, and as you can see on the mystery, we've got 74% on common, 24.4% on uncommon, and a 1.4% on the rare. But there is a mercy system as well that I just wanted to point out, but that does not apply to the mercy shard. So before we talk more about the mercy system, let's talk about the other shards available, because you might be thinking that as we get further down the list, you have a better probability of getting the rare units, but it's not quite that direct. Ancient shards are the next currency that is going to come into play, and this is the first currency you'll have available that you can get rare, epic, or legendary champions. Ancient shards do have a chance of just randomly dropping in some stages when you're farming or doing higher like dungeons, for example. You can get ancient shards, but the other area you're going to get ancient shards early on is going to be from various quests and challenges that are available in the game. For example, complete all weekly quests is going to give you another ancient shard. Now in addition to that, there are void shards. Now you might be thinking, like I was early on, where like you just see purple, so you're like, oh, so that's going to give me an epic champion. That's not quite what it is.
And why the fuck didn't you say so?
And maybe I sound dumb for bringing attention to this, but I think it's worth a point of clarifying. I'm just jumping into a stage here because that's the easiest way to show it. In the game, as you know, there are these different affinities. You got magic, spirit, I'm blanking on what the red one is, force, and then in the middle there is void, which doesn't have any advantage against any other element, but it also doesn't have any weakness against any other element. Now the only way you can get void champions, whether rare, epic, or legendary, is from the void shard shards. You're not going to get any void champions from the ancient shards. So that's why there is a separation between the two. But in terms of overall percentages and drop rates, they're actually the same. So again, if I go into the drop rates here for ancient and void shards, you can see there's a 91.5% chance of getting a rare champion, an 8% chance on an epic champion, and a 0.5% chance on a legendary. Some pretty low drop rates there. But like I said before, there is a mercy system. Some other places or other games might call it a pity system. And as you can see, for when it comes to ancient and void shards, for epics, after 20 summons, if you don't get an epic champion, you're going to get a plus 2% increase in your drop rate per shard. After that, increase in your rate of getting an epic champion. So, you know, between basically at least 30 or so pulls, you're gonna guarantee an epic at that point. I think it took me to about 20 or so to get my first epic from an ancient shard. So that's something there. And it's the same thing for void shards. And then when it comes to legendary champions, it's gonna be after 200 summons. If you don't get a legendary, it's going to increase by 5% after that. So I wouldn't say you need to worry about kind of like rushing, getting to pity for the champions, especially early on in the game. Like that's just something that's going to happen over time. And eventually, you know what, you may get lucky and get a legendary champion from there. By the way, if today's content got you excited and wanting to try out Raid Shadow Legends, you can actually sign up using my link in the description or in the pinned comment to this video, or using the QR code that's on screen now. There is a bunch of champions that you can collect, and if you sign up using my link, you're going to get a free Rector Drath on your account, who is a great supporter to get your account off on the right foot. Also, in addition to Rector Drath, you're going to get 1 energy refill, 1 XP booster, and an epic skill tome you can use on Rector Drath. And remember, new users who reach level 15 will also get the epic champion Yugo, as well as 300,000 silver, XP barrel, and some additional magic potions to get you started. All right, let's keep going in the video. There's a few other shard types that we need to talk about and to go over here. The next one is the primal shards. Now you may be thinking, oh, primal shards, that means I've got an increased drop rate of getting, one of the mythical champions. And while true, primal shards do have a chance of dropping mythical champions, as you can see here, rare, epic, legendary, or mythical. Drop rates still quite low. 0.5% on a mythical. However, you do have a higher drop rate chance than the ancient and void shards of getting an epic or a legendary, where it bumps up and basically doubles it. So 8% to 16% and 0.5% to 1%. It is definitely better, but just because you get a primal shard does not guarantee you're getting a mythical or a legendary by that matter. So make sure you're always going in with a little bit of understanding there. Now, the last shard type here that we can see, at least in this shard summon menu here, is the sacred shards. Now, sacred shards are very valuable in raid and something you're going to be wanting to try and pursue. There's a variety of places to get them, like early on in the campaign mode. There are sacred shards in terms of the drops, and these are great because sacred shards will guarantee you an epic or a legendary champion. As you can see here in the drop rate, 88% chance on an epic and a 12% chance on a legendary. So, if you're just like running stats here, basically for every 10 sacred shards, you're basically guaranteed legendary. Well, yes, it's not a 100% guarantee. Statistically, that's how it's going to work out. And on the mercy system here, we're going to see that the actual specifics on how that pity is going to work. So with the primal and the legendary mythical, it's after 75 summons plus 1%, after 200 summons 10%. I'm going to be honest with you, the rate of getting primal shards real slow. So it'll be a long time, especially if you're a new player, before you're going to be hitting that. On the sacred shards, as you can see here, after 12 summons without a legendary, it starts to increase by 2%. So even if you don't get it kind of on that first 10, even though statistically you probably should get at least 1, you're going to have a pretty good chance after that of rolling through. But I will say, I've been playing for starting to creep up on a month now, and I've still only pulled like a handful of sacred shards, and I've been trying to grind out as many as I can, at least from like a free-to-play perspective here. And so it's still going to be slow goings on those ones. But here's the thing. Well, yes, that's how the portal and the shard system works. There's still like a few other ways to get champions in this game, and it's not limited to that. Now, I just want to briefly mention down here at the bottom on this summon pool tab, there are these prism shards that are available to pull, where you can see you've got a 6% chance of legendary, 94% chance of an epic, which is about the same rate as the sacred shards in terms of the drop rates for that. However, to pull on this banner, you need to get the special crystal currency to use it, and I believe it is paid only. I haven't seen any other way of getting it for free, so this is basically a fully paid banner. And this also has a bit of a rotation in terms of what are the increased drop rates for specific champions. So if you're like a dolphin or a whale and you want to pull a little bit more on it, maybe timing this for specific legendary champions you're looking for, it's going to be your best bet. However, if you're still a free-to-play like myself as of late, there is also this other system that's available for getting new champions, and it's the fusion system. The fusion system it allows you to build other lower rarity champions to fuse them into higher rarity champions, one of which being here Lady Mikage, and she can only be fused one time, but you can come in and get a 6-star mythical champion in the game by farming up these other champions. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, this is expensive. This is also going to be tough to get because you got to get these legendary champions. But to get these legendary champions, you got to build up these epics if you don't. Now, if you do happen to pull one of these luckily, like just on like an off rip kind of pull, you get lucky and you manage to get them. You don't have to do the bottom fusion to get there. However, these bottom fusions are available to get up to Lady Mikage. However, these purples, there's no other way to fuse these purples or these epic champions here. So you're going to just have to be lucky on some of your drop rates for that. However, these rares, they're going to come through. As you can see, I've already got one of them. I could theoretically level him up and ascend him, but I just haven't done so because I'm still missing a lot of other champions. Now, I will say just make sure to highlight the prerequisites for doing some of these fusions. As you can see here, there's a star requirement and an ascension requirement. That's why the stars are purple, if you haven't picked up on that yet. And they need to be leveled up fully to 40 and ascended to 4-star on all 4 champions before you can fuse them into the next rarity champion. So it's a decent amount of investment to be able to do that, especially early game. There are a couple other lower rarity options that are available in the game for fusion, as you can see here. Now, I have previously done the Relic Keeper fusion. He's not the highest rated epic in the game, but if you are, struggling with getting some champions onto your account, he's definitely an option that's there. There's also another legendary champion, Razin. He's another one that's available for fusion. I'm kind of waiting until I have kind of each of the rare characters available, and then I'm going to go ahead and work towards that fusion. But kind of until I have all of them, there's no point in wasting the time and energy into that. I'm currently looking at building more of the champions that I currently have. And then the last one available is Broadmaw as well, except he's got this rare champion requirement here for these Void champions, specifically only from Void Shards. So it's going to be a little while before I can do that. I just happen to get lucky on getting those champions available there. But that's kind of the fusion system, but that's not the only way. There are more ways to get champions in Raid Shadow Legends. The next one is the Fragment Summon. So the Fragment Summon is connected to different tournament events in the game. Raid is big on these tournaments and events where you go through and there'll be particular challenges where you get matched against other players currently in the game where you'll have specific tasks like Classic Arena Takedown or Champion Chase Tournament. Get champions and take first place on the leaderboard, to win some fearsome Queen of Hearts. So you can see here the rewards that are available. Now, there's 2 different things here. One, these rewards for tournaments, you get these based on your overall ranking within the tournament, but on the right hand side here, this is just fixed. You don't need to win the tournament to get these rewards. And as you can see here, and you look on the right hand side, there are these shards. I don't have enough tournament points, but as you can see, there's these shards here. And right now, this tournament event is going on, and I've been able to collect some of these shards. And so when I go back into the Fragment Summon and I click Esme, you can see she's starting to glow because I've been slowly collecting those shards. After you get 100 shards, you can get the champion. And there's quite a few champions in here. They will rotate in for different tournaments at different times. So, you can keep an eye out for that. You can always look at like pooling resources to help, push in those tournaments a little bit more to get some of those shards faster. But this is another, technically free to play way of getting some higher rarity champions. The last section here is the Remnant Summon. The Remnant Summon uses a different currency here. You can see these red spiky things. You get these from clearing the Cursed City, but you're not going to have that available until your account hits level 52. So it's going to be a lot of grinding. Like I said, I'm creeping up on a month now of playing and I'm still only level 46. So it's going to be a while until you're going to be able to get those drops from the Cursed City. Now, that's all the primary ways of getting champions in Raid Shadow Legends. That's how the portal works. The only last thing, then something that you probably have already seen previously, is there is theoretically just a chance to get some select champions from some of these farming stages down here. Like, for example, you can get the Executioner just as a small percent chance on a drop rate from clearing any of the Hallowed Halls. It can just randomly be something that you get. And the Executioner in particular, and some of the other rare champions that are going to be in the drops, are actually the champions specifically for the Relic Keeper. Relic Keeper is actually probably the easiest fusion currently available in the game because pretty much all of these champions you can farm up randomly in the game as well. I think 1 or 2 of them you need to pull. Like, for example, I think this one here, forgetting her name, the Sorceress or whatever it is. I think you do have to pull her, but at least all of these bottom 4 here pretty much are farmable, pretty easy to get. So that's pretty much how getting champions or, in Raid Shadow Legends works. Now, again, I mentioned this earlier in the video, but if this got you interested in trying playing Raid Shadow Legends and kind of seeing how to get the different characters, you can sign up again with my link in the description or the pinned comment of this video to get Rector Drath as a main support for your account. Healer, Reviver, helpful for PvP and PvE based content. And then again, at level 15 of your account from the Ogren tribe, you're going to get the champion Yugo, who is another supporter that you can use. Also very helpful within PvP content, as well as an XP barrel, 300,000 silver, as well as some potions to help level your champions early on in the game. But that's going to be it for this one, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.